see if things are. Nope, that's not what I wanted you to do. All right. So I'm hoping that this is, the right orientation, and you're actually seeing this in the like appropriate, way and all that type of stuff. Because like stuff again. Rotate your device. No, please don't. My device. It's like, yeah, this is not the way that I want to film. These are kind of like these like little things of like the stuff that's like annoying about all this stuff, but whatever. I am not gonna let it bother me. I'm gonna just move on. So hi, Miss Steph here. So glad to be with y'all. Going live and whatnot. Again. So yeah, let's get this. Let's go ahead and just get it set up and just do this, right? So, my theme for these lives, by the way, I did one yesterday on Instagram. And I'm not really sure kind of the schedule that I'm going to do just yet. I'm really just kind of testing stuff. So what my theme for these lives are just quick little things that you can try at home, right? That are crafts or science projects or crafty science projects. You know how I do. Like, come on now. Y'all know. All right. And really also one things that you can try at home. I want them to be pretty simple, and also things that maybe you haven't seen me do before, some type of slight variation. So for example, yesterday on Instagram, I did a project that was a lava lamp, which you've seen me do a lava lamp before, but it was one with baking powder. And I used water to activate the baking powder. And it ended up kind of being a slow-mo lava lamp where it was slowly reacting. Whereas, baking soda as the active ingredient and like say Alka-Seltzer, those things react a lot faster. So anyway, let's go ahead and throw on some gloves. Things that you will absolutely need are the cornstarch and Crisco. Yes, I know, I'm trying it. I have some Crisco left over. That's the other thing, is that like things that I use for other science investigations throughout the school year, I'm kind of using them up and doing different things with them, right? Like, so this is my way of encouraging you to continue your scientific exploration using things that you used for something else, right? So, yeah. Any here, Crisco, we have some cornstarch. Other things that and this is highly, it's an interesting day, but whatever. Like I said, I'm moving on. I'm gonna keep going. Lotion. You may have seen me do I got this idea through when I did the conditioner Play-Doh. Then I was like, this summer I was like, well, couldn't I just use lotion? Isn't that the same thing chemically? So, right? Because conditioner is essentially lotion for your hair. And so, yeah, I was like, let me try it. And you'll see how it turns out. And then I have, this is the maybe, right? Food coloring. Y'all know how I feel about food coloring. This is actually brand new food coloring. You're the first ones to see me use that. And I'm going to use kind of a pretty crazy color, only because, well, not a crazy color, but a color that's, I want to be careful with my words, but a color that I would typically say not to use just because, strong pigments and all that type of stuff. But let's try a teal because of one of the suggested materials, the gloves, right? So anywho, like I said, I hope that you're seeing me properly. I hope that you can hear me well. So glad to be on with you all today. Science with Ms. Steph pop-up, start of the 2022 school year. And then I have a beaker. The beaker is just my container. The beaker is not for measurement, really. But this just happens to be the container I'm using. And I have count them, 2 spoons. All right, and we're 5 minutes in, and hopefully we'll be done soon. Not because I want to leave y'all, but just because this is supposed to just be a little 10-minute pop-up lesson. Once again, welcome to Science with Ms. Steph. Another thing I wanted to make sure is that it was a gluten-free project. Now, it's not going to be soy-free. So those of you that might have like soy allergies as far as contact, soybean oil is pretty much the main ingredient in Crisco. Okay? So yeah, let's talk the science and the objective and the thought process behind this as I start to line up these materials, or rather get the materials inside of the container. So one of the things I was thinking, right, because by the way, this is a tester. You're testing this with me, okay? Just based on experience and different things that I've done over the years. One of the things that I was thinking, I was like, all right, so gluten-free. I have done a gluten-free project before. Like I said, we've done gluten-free Play-Doh before because, and by the way, I'm saying gluten-free, but gluten-free contact, right? This is not something that's going to be edible in the end. Do not eat this, okay? So gluten-free, I know that that's a concern. There are some people whose allergies are so severe that they cannot even touch things with gluten in it. So you see I'm putting down quite a bit of cornstarch in here. And then the other concept that I'm digging into is just my experience of making Play-Doh over the years, as well as from back in the day when I was in high school, I took home ec. And I actually, for holidays, used to be the one that was responsible to make pie crust, make the pie crust, because my mom, as she used to say, there's no future in it. My mom didn't always like to make stuff from scratch. And so because of that, she would just buy frozen pie crust, which BT dubs, I have no hate around people who use frozen pie crust because, I mean, I grew up on it. But that being said, I used to volunteer once I learned how to make it in home ec in high school. I would be like, Mommy, I can make the pie crust. Anyways, so we have cornstarch, and we have, see this? Again, you're the first people to see me use this. That's probably way more than I need. Okay, my brand new gel food coloring in a tube. Okay. All right. And of course, when I stir this up, it's not going to really distribute the color very much, simply because there's no water-based product in here, right? But yeah, so when I learned how to make pie crust, I learned that pie crust basically has 3 ingredients, okay? And Play-Doh essentially is kind of sort of, pie crust that you can, pie dough, right? That we play with as kids. Yes, I'm a kid too. All right. And so the 3 main ingredients would be some type of shortening or oil, okay? A starch, which typically is a wheat flour, okay? For those of us who aren't gluten-free. But again, this activity is a gluten-free activity, okay? And then just a few tablespoons of water. So thinking about that as a scientist and as someone who has like a lot of experience, making various Play-Dohs. When I say various kinds of Play-Doh, like a lot of different Play-Dohs. I looked at the cupboard today and I thought to myself, we should try this, right? We should see if I can just do kind of like how I would do pie crust back in the day with my shortening. Okay. And my starch. And of course, like I said, my starch is a gluten-free starch because I know that not everybody can be around wheat flour. Okay. And then you kind of just like mash it together to see when it all will come together. Right? So yeah. Now, you're going to be like, but Miss Steph, where's your water? Lotion. has water content. Okay, lotion actually has water and fat in it. I'm using Lubriderm lotion because Lubriderm it is typically hypoallergenic. You see, it's fragrance free. And for people to touch it, it shouldn't be harmful to you. Okay. So that was what, like 5 or 6 months? Okay. And very similar to when you're making pie crust, right? It's like not coming together just yet. Okay. It kind of goes into like this crumbly thing first. Okay. And then eventually it will start to become more of a dough like thing. Right? I have gloves on so that when I get ready to touch this, it's not, it doesn't get all over my hands. Because sometimes you might not feel like having things on your hands. Right? But you see how this is coming together quite nicely. Or rather, maybe you don't see. Let me make sure you can see. Okay. And then more lotion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And similar to pie crust, it's kind of one of those things to where if you put too much of your liquid, there we go. It's really coming together. Put too much of your liquid or too much of your oil or whatever. See that? Going together. You put too much of anything, which is a basic concept in science, right? Like your ratio situation. It won't do the way what you want it to do. It's not gonna like hold together. It won't be as fun and exciting to play. But yeah, that's my quick tester of this Crisco and cornstarch. Okay. And my Crisco cornstarch Play-Doh. Okay. So you saw me, I put cornstarch down the bottom. I added my food coloring, my desired color. After adding the food coloring, by the way, this is getting pretty hard to stir, just so that you're aware. Okay. After adding my food coloring, I then put in about half of the Crisco I was going to use. Okay. Because when we do regular, say, pie crust and pie dough, you do about a 1-to-1. Okay, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, if not like 2 to say 3, right? Parts. Okay, and as you see, it's like really coming together. Okay, so that we can kind of finish up quickly, I'm gonna take this out and show you kind of what's happening. Now, remember, this is me just testing it to see if this idea worked. This is pretty soft and goopy. Okay, you see that? Okay. But as you can see, it's essentially Play-Doh. Okay? And what I would do, all right, which I'll post later on Instagram, my results. Okay? And what I would do is a similar thing that you would do with pie crust. Is just add more of your starch, more of your flour. Now, could you try this with, say, regular flour and it be possibly a bit more close to Play-Doh? Absolutely. All right. So yeah, so thought I would just come on really quickly, say a quick little hello. I'm getting back into the groove of things. Yes, darlings. When it comes to science with Miss Steph and all that type of stuff. And I am super excited about this school year and looking forward to seeing all of you at the different events. We do have Girls Club starting this Saturday, September 10th. Hope to see you there at 3 p.m. More information will be in the description below. Toodles, have a lovely day.